Hey guys, how's it going? Scott here, and today's going to be a bit of a different episode. I am about to go on holiday with my kids and wife tomorrow, and which means I'm going to be out of work for like a week, right? So I'm not going to be able to hook up with Ian next week, and I didn't want to leave you guys with no podcast, right? I can't do that. I need to be in your earlugs when you're in the gym or in the car or wherever you listen to us. So I thought I'd jump in and do one solo. So the kids are in bed right now. The wife's in bed. It's like 20 past 10 at night. I've just popped a beer open to keep me company on this episode. And we'll see where it takes us. Anyway, today I'm going to be not talking about bass. I'm going to be talking about building an online business. And the reason why I want to do this is because so many people ask me to do this, and so many of my friends, like every time I go and hang out with a bunch of friends, whether it be a bar or a barbecue or whatever it is, right? The number one hot topic that everybody wants to know is, how do I start building an online business specifically to do with music education? And that is because most of my friends, let me put this radiator on down here because I'm freezing. Most of my friends are musicians, right? So they're musicians, they're music teachers, and they're doing that whole thing, whether people are coming to their house to get lessons, or they're traveling to other people's houses to get lessons, or they're going around the schools and doing lessons, or whatever, right? They're all, a lot of them are musicians and a lot of them are teachers, and they see what I do or other people are doing, and they're really wondering how to get into it. And I think that there's never been a better time to really get into building an online music education business. So I thought I'd dive in and kind of give you a really easy step-by-step formula to follow, specifically towards creating an online music education business. Now, that you could obviously use this just to create an online business, but I'm going to be talking specifically to musicians today, okay? Now, just a bit about my background in case you've been sent here by a friend that's a musician and they've said, hey, go check out this podcast because it's going to give you a step-by-step formula to follow if you want to create an online business in terms of music education, right? So I started out 10 years ago with zero tech experience, no business experience, like literally nothing. I bought my first computer like 11 or 12 years ago, and if you see me typing, I type like a lonely chicken in a field, right? Just like a lonely hen pecking the ground. That's kind of like how I type. So I've got. I don't come from a stereotypical background, but I've been able to grow my business, which is called scottsbasslessons.com, into one of the largest online music schools in the world. We've got almost 30,000 current students, and we've managed to do that with zero funding at all. So we've never taken any outside funding. I've done it all through just, grassroots, from the ground up kind of vibe. And when I started it about 10 or 11 years ago, it took me about a year to get the thing off the ground. And I'm going to be going through some very specific steps that you need to take. And it's really going to save you, honestly, about a year to 3 years of pain. And I say that with real seriousness. Like, it really took me about, a year or two to just get to grips with the very basics of this. Back in the day, do people say that anymore? Oh, back in the day, there was just not that much information online. I can remember it took me about a damn week to figure out how to put a YouTube video onto a site. I was trying to think, like, what's this? How do you do it? Anyway, ultimately, I figured out how to do it in the end. But it really, even though there's more and more information available nowadays, I sometimes think that, it's almost too much information. And hopefully, what I'm hoping that this podcast episode does is really map out what you need to do and what you can do to create an online business for yourself. And just a caveat as well, that you can mix in real teaching within this as well, like one-to-one teaching. I'm going to be talking a lot about, yes, this is how to use the power of the internet to create a business, but what you sell through that business is up to you. So for instance, you could sell online programs, you could sell group coaching to students, you could sell one-to-one lessons, you could say, you can sell whatever you want, but what I'm going to give you is the structure of how to build this and how to really leverage a lot of this stuff. I'm going to be talking about social media, I'm going to be talking about building audiences, I'm going to be talking about how to choose a platform and why you should do that. I'm going to be talking about creating a website and why you should do that, and what one thing, just one thing that really specifically needs to be on that website. And I'm going to tell you how to turn that website into a 24-hour cash machine, meaning that your website will make you a living whilst you're sleeping. And that was a game changer when I kind of sort of like wrapped my brain around that. That's really what a website is for. It's not like a vanity thing. It's not so you look cool. It should be a functional part of your business. I'm going to tell you how to turn it into that. I'm going to be talking about email list providers. I'm going to jump in. Okay. I'm going to jump in. So first off, you need to start building an audience, or otherwise known as a following. Okay. Now, the reason that you need to do this is you need to be able to, get a bunch of people interested in what you do. Okay. So you need to build an audience. Now, you can do this in a few different ways. And yes, you can, one of them is to inspire people through your playing. But it's not all about that. You don't need to be a super flashy player to be able to build an audience. You can also build an audience and a following through the words, the way that the way that you look at the world, what you think about what's going on. You can inspire people. And honestly, just showing up is half of the thing, right? That's half of the battle, just showing up and being consistent. Okay, so inspire people through your playing, inspire people through your words and your viewpoint of, your view of the world, and inspire people just through your kind of like your grit and how you show up every single day. Okay. And that is how you build an audience or a following. Okay. So once, you've got that out the way and you understand that you need to build an audience or a following. Now, you might already have an audience or following, and that's great. But I'm just talking if you're out there and you've got like 20 people following you on Instagram, right? You might be thinking, well, what's next? Well, you need to start building that audience and that following. Now, once you start doing that, or once you wrap your brain around, okay, I need to start building this audience and this following, the next thing you need to do is choose a platform so you can start building that audience or following, right? You need to choose a platform. Now, what do I mean by platform? I mean a social media platform, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Caveat that YouTube is kind of a social media platform, but it's actually more of a search engine, okay? So you need to choose a platform. What I would recommend against is doing it all. Don't do YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Now, you might be looking at other people and they're doing that. You're like, oh, he's doing it and she's doing this. Yeah, that's wicked, but just choose one to begin with and go deep on one. Really learn and understand that platform, how to build an audience, how to build a following on that platform, because all of these different platforms have different quirks to them. They have a different style, okay? So do you want to be messing around with how to learn, YouTube content, how to learn how to do Facebook content, how to learn how to do Instagram content? Because native content is a big deal, meaning different content for different platforms, okay? Give yourself a freaking chance, okay? Just dial it back and choose one platform. Okay, let me just give you a quick run through of what you might want to consider. Now, Instagram is great for short form content and a lower production value of stuff, right? An easier barrier to entry. You can kind of do all these stuff on your iPhone or your smartphone, and it's going to be wicked. Most of the content is like under 60 seconds. You can shoot for longer if you need to, but it's just easier to create content for Instagram. And frankly, there's a great community on there right now. Now, TikTok is also short form, much like IG or Instagram. What I would say about TikTok is the demographic is younger right now, although there is an older demographic going on there as well. But I think it's a very, very promising platform. Obviously, we're just getting into it, so I'm not going to give you any sort of like tips and tricks so much because I'm just trying to figure that stuff out myself. But TikTok is definitely a platform that you should and could be looking at as well. Now, The next up is YouTube. Now, YouTube is great for more long form content, like long form lessons would be good. Although it also has shorts now. It's videos that are under 60 seconds. But the thing that I would point out about YouTube is that it can be a little daunting to create, a 5 or 10 minute long lesson for YouTube. So the barrier to entry is a little higher. But yeah, the thing that I also want to point out about YouTube is, though, that the intent of that platform is different. The people on there have got a different intent than people on Instagram. So people on YouTube are often looking how to learn things like a musical instrument, whereas on Instagram, there's not many people going on Instagram to learn a musical instrument, right? Most people are on Instagram because Instagram's the new magazine, right? You go to the toilet, you take your phone, you get on Instagram, right? Or you've got like a 5 or 10 minutes and you go on the doom scroll, as Ian likes to call it. But if anybody new to the podcast is wondering, who's this Ian character he keeps on mentioning? It's Ian Allison. We do this thing called the Scott and Ian Show every week, and you should definitely check it out. This is kind of like this episode that I'm doing today is just like a random solo show. Anyway, jumping back in. Okay, so YouTube. People on YouTube have got a different intent. They're looking to learn things a lot of the time. And that's why it lends itself quite well to music lessons and stuff like that, right? And then last up is Facebook. Now, honestly, I'm not sure anymore about Facebook. It's a little bit of a mess. The demographic is definitely older. But I would say that Facebook groups still seem to have a lot of value. We started a Facebook group recently. It's been going great. There is definitely an audience still on Facebook. So yeah, do some investigation there. Put your own legwork into this, but honestly, just choose one platform and go deep on that platform. And remember, when you choose that platform, you need to be showing up and creating content for that platform. If it's YouTube, it might be on a weekly basis. If it's on Instagram, it's probably going to be, more like 3 times a week to 5 times a week you want to be posting, so the amount you post is going to, the amount you post is going to be dictated to by the actual platform that you choose. Okay, so anyway, so that is how you're going to build your audience. Or not so much how you're going to build your audience, but where you are going to build your audience. You will build your audience on one of those platforms. You will be doing that by showing up, creating content, adding value, inspiring people through your playing, yes, but also through your words, and just by showing up and doing what you said you'd do, because that is half the battle. Okay, so what do you do after you've figured out how to build an audience and you've chosen a platform? Well, the next step is to obviously create a website, or maybe not so obviously, is to create a website. Now, the website, what I like to think of the website as is, this is your shop. Okay, this is your shop. This is where you can sell things. Okay, now, and we are talking about creating a business here. Now, we want to create a website, but we can keep it simple. We can keep it simple. And honestly, if you're just getting started, or maybe even not just getting started, honestly, I kind of like just keeping it simple anyway. It can just be one page. We've all been on a one-page website, right? It's got, a couple of different tabs at the top. You click it and it just scrolls to different places on that page, okay? I love that idea. A one-page website. Come on. So keep it simple. It can be one page, okay? Now, on that website, when there's a bunch of things that need to be on that website. You can have like a little bio, but don't just make it all about you. It's about them. Okay, so nobody cares really about you. Yeah, it's cool to, use a bit of sort of like, hey, I've done this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. But just keep it short and punchy. Make it way more about them and way less about you, because they want to know how you can help them, not about you specifically, right? So tell them how you can help them. Okay, what is in it for them, not what's in it for you, right? So, and then this I've seen, when you go to an about page of a website, this is what I really recommend a lot of people do when they're doing an about page for a website. You should make an about page about how you can help them, not just this kind of sort of like rundown of what you've done in your past and why you're so cool. Okay, so anyway, make it about them, not you. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Now's the time to turn that website into a 24-hour cash machine, meaning your website will be making you a living whilst you are sleeping. Now, this is kind of like something that really blew my mind when I was learning about online business. And it's something I heard somebody talking about on, when I was researching this stuff as well. And he said, he used this specific terminology. He was like, you want to turn your website into a 24-hour cash machine because frankly, you don't want to be trading your hours for money. And I was like, holy crap. He was like, because if you're trading hours for money, there is a limit to how big the business can grow. If you are not trading your hours for money, you can make it a much bigger business, right? Because, you're not trading your hours, right? So when I'm saying this, think about, and I said this earlier as well, think about what you want to sell through your website. Yes, you might want to do one-to-one lessons. Yes, you might want to do group coaching lessons as well, but you probably want to sell some kind of online program as well because that scales. The online program, again, that isn't you trading hours for money. That is trading information for infinite amounts of money if you can get enough customers for it, right? It's a one and done. You create the thing, you create the book, you create the resource, you create the course, and it's done. And then you can sell it forever. Well, until you have to go into the metaverse and teach it. I don't know what's coming up in the future. Who knows? But anyway, you'll be golden for a few years anyway, right? You can sell that thing over and over. Now, let's go back to this 24-hour cash machine, okay? This is how you're going to do this, and you need to follow these specific steps. First up is you need to create a freebie, okay? A freebie. Now, this is something free that you are going to give away in exchange for somebody's email address, okay? Again, create your website. It can be super simple. Next step is you're going to create a freebie. Something free that you are going to give away in exchange for somebody's email address. So this could be, for example, a mini course, a scale or chord cheat sheet, some backing tracks, some lessons, a bundle, whatever it is, right? If you're an artist or band and you're using this specific marketing strategy to build a reputation for your artist or band, for you as an artist or band, this could be, exclusive music that's not available anywhere else or behind the scenes stuff. But what I would say is just, and I mentioned this earlier, I've spoken to friends about this who wanted to say, create a online music educational business, okay? So they can teach one-to-one or do group lessons, group coaching, online Skype lessons, stuff like that. And for their freebie, they give, they create something like, hey, here's some exclusive tracks from my album. Can you see how there's a huge disconnect there? The business that they're trying to create is teaching, value exchange in terms of education. And what they're trying to give away as their freebie is something cool from their album. Okay, so there's a huge disconnect there. So you want to think about what you want to sell, what through your business, what's your value prop, and then based on that, make the freebie, congruent with it. So if you are going to create an online music educational business, you want your freebie to be a mini course. As I said earlier, a mini course, a scale or chord cheat sheet, some backing tracks, something that is going to be educational and help people level up on their instrument. Okay, so make sure that your freebie is congruent with the business that you want to build. It's not just sort of, random tracks of you playing guitar or whatever. Now that's cool if you're trying to be an artist or a band and you're trying to, you can use this same strategy to do that, and then it would be congruent, right? The freebie, but make sure the freebie is congruent. Now, next up you need to do, after you've created your freebie, next up is you need to sign up to an email list provider. Or email, is it called an email service provider or email ESP? Yeah, email service provider. See, I've got my shit together today. So you need to sign up to an email service provider such as MailChimp, okay? There's a bunch of stuff out there, MailChimp, Aweber, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft. There's a bunch of these things, right? You cannot run this from your Gmail. Okay, because there's something deeper in the strategy that we're going to go into in a minute that means that you cannot do that, okay? So you can't build it off your Gmail. Go sorting my notes out here. So you need to sign up for an email service provider, MailChimp as an example, okay? Now, when you do that, okay, and yeah, if anybody's thinking, what are you talking about? We're going to be building an email list. Yes, you are going to be building an email list, okay? Everybody's got all their pants on fire about the next social media platform. Ooh, it's Instagram, it's TikTok. Ooh, I can't remember the thing. There was another one that's just come up on my phone recently, right? Clubhouse. Clubhouse is the new big thing, right? Honestly, the big thing is building an email list. The big thing is going to be building an email list, okay? Do not build your business on rented ground, meaning social media platforms. If you are relying solely on building your business on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or wherever, Clubhouse, okay, you're building your business on rented ground. It's owned by somebody else and the goalposts can be moved. The rules can be changed. Back in the day, I had, I don't know, like a few 100,000 people follow me on Facebook, and I used to post do a post, send it out. All of the people that were following me would see it, okay? Now you do it, and I don't know what it's like, 2% of people, maybe 1% of your followers see it, because the rules change, because their business models change, because they are in the advertisement business, and it is in their interest to put you in a situation where you build a huge audience, a huge following, and then charge you to put your message in front of the audience that you've already built, okay? So you need to build an email list. It is going to be the most valuable thing you will ever do in terms of growing your business online, period. Seriously, do not build your business on rented ground. Build an email list. It is the most valuable thing you'll ever do in terms of growing your business online. Okay, now, next, once you've got your email service provider up and running, next you are going to make an opt-in form on your homepage of your website, okay? You're going to put an opt-in form, and we've all seen these. You see the opt-in form, and it's where you stick your email in, you press the button, and then you get your free thing, okay? So this is exactly what you're going to do. People are going to go to your homepage, and it's going to say something like, hey, sign up for my free 3-part course on how to XYZ. Or, hey, sign up for my free chord cheat sheet that shows you how to play chords on the fingerboard in 3 easy steps. Or sign up for, you get the point, right? I'm not going to labor it, right? So they get to your website, and you're going to put this opt-in form on the homepage of your website. This is the primary thing that you want on your website, right on the homepage, not hidden away, not in a sidebar. You want it right there, smack bang in the middle of your homepage, okay? Because you want to get as many people hitting your website as you can that will be signing up for that freebie. Okay, it's really, really important. Now, you might go to my website, scottsbaselessons.com, and say, hey, Scott, you haven't got a freebie offered on your homepage, yada, yada, yada. Like, our business right now is really complex, and there is definitely a case to be made that we should have that, but we are just testing a bunch of different things. So, and I've learned this along the way, is sometimes it is damaging to look at what somebody else is doing, especially when they're at a different level within, the building a business. Okay, we use different levers within our business, and we can do different things because of the size. But if I'm just starting out, or frankly, if I'm in the first 3 to 5 years, I'm going to have that freebie right on the homepage, and it will be the primary thing that I'm going to be trying to get people to take. Okay. Now, once somebody has opted in for the freebie, here's the ninja bit. Okay. Once somebody's opted in for that freebie, they are going to enter what's called an autoresponder sequence. Okay, so you need to go inside your email service provider, let's say it's MailChimp, and you need to set up a autoresponder sequence. Now, what an autoresponder sequence does is it sends people a sequence of emails, and you can space these out, however far apart you want them, okay? So let's say I sign up for your freebie on a Monday. You can go inside your email service provider and get your autoresponder to send me an email on the first day that I sign up, and that will probably deliver the freebie that I've just signed up for. Hey, Scott, amazing to see that you've joined our email list. Here's the freebie you signed up for. Honestly, just want to put it out there. We're so pleased that you've joined the email list. We're going to send you a few more emails over the next few days and hopefully add value to you, inspire you to pick up your instrument a little bit more, and get and help you get to know us as well along the journey. Okay, something like that. on the first day they sign up, they get that email. Now you might want to leave it a couple of days. You send another email, okay? Now remember that this is automated. It's an autoresponder sequence. So this is automatic. You're not actually going into your Gmail and sending these out, okay? Somebody signs up to your freebie, and then on day one, they get email one. And then maybe on 2 days after, and you could, if you wanted to, you could send them an email every single day for 5 days, okay? It depends. And we're going to get into the strategy of that in just 1 second, okay? But on day one, you send them the, hey, get your widget, get your freebie, okay? And then you tell them what's coming, okay? Then a couple of days after that, you send them another email. Now that other email is going to deliver more value. It's going to deliver more value. And it's going to say something like, hey, Scott, just checking in. Hopefully you enjoyed that freebie. Don't use the word freebie. Mention what you've obviously, given them. Hopefully you enjoyed the cheat sheet. Hopefully you enjoyed the 3-part course. Hopefully you enjoyed whatever, right? Hopefully you enjoyed the widget that we sent you a couple of days ago. I also wanted to share this brand new lesson that we've just released, or I also wanted to share something that I've been listening to recently that really made me think about how I'm approaching the instrument, how I'm practicing, or I really wanted to share whatever it is you need to add value through that next email. And you need to do that over, I would say, 3 to 4 emails, okay? Add in value. It could be your own lessons. It could be showcasing somebody else's lessons. It could be whatever. You need to add value to that person's life, okay? The reason why you want to do that is because you want to build a relationship with this person that's just signed up to your email list, because they are human and you want to be cool. Okay, you want to be cool. You want to make their life better and add value. So that is what these autoresponder sequences are really fantastic for. Okay, so remember, you get the freebie, you create the freebie, you put the opt-in form on your homepage, and then when somebody signs up to the opt-in form on your homepage for the freebie, then they get placed in an autoresponder sequence, which will give them 3 to 5 emails over, let's say, 5 to 7 days. And in each of those emails, you will give them something of value, add value to their lives, and tell them maybe a little bit about your story. But remember, not too much. Make it about them, not you. Okay, make it about them, not you. Okay, now once you've done that, just imagine, just put yourself in this person's shoes. Okay, they've signed up for this freebie, and then over a period of a week, you've sent them, like, let's say 3 to 5 emails, and in each of those emails, you've asked for nothing and just delivered value. Okay, just imagine how cool they're feeling right now. It is at this point that you've probably built enough relationship to ask for a sale. That could be a one-to-one lesson. That could be a, do you want to join my group coaching program? Do you want to check out my brand new course that I've just created, which is a self-study thing, whatever. Okay, now there's a whole different strategy around that specific thing, which we probably won't get into today. Now, I'm just going to double back in a minute. I will say, if you're enjoying this episode, please let me know in the comments of the in the comments on the website. If you can find the website, just go to scottsbaselessons.com podcast and find this episode. Let me know in the comments if you are enjoying it, or just leave a review on all of the places like iTunes and Spotify and stuff like that. That'll be really helping us out. Now, obviously, you've put this autoresponder in place. You've delivered value when somebody's signed up for it, yada, yada, yada. So why is this a big deal? Okay, well, check this out. Remember, rewind all the way back to the beginning of this episode when I said you need to build an audience, you need to build a following, okay? And you need to inspire them just by adding value and turning up and doing your thing. Now you've got somewhere to point them. So you should be interacting with the audience and, inspiring the audience and vibing with them, just sort of like hanging out and doing your thing with them. And then saying every week, just remind them, hey, have you taken my free 3-part course? It's just go to the website, www.widget.com, whatever it is, right? Go to the website and grab the freebie, grab the free 3-part course, grab the free cheat sheet, grab the whatever it is, okay? And what you should be doing is directing people to your website all the time. And it doesn't need to be a hard sell, okay? It doesn't need to be a hard sell. It can just be sort of like a flippant, you can deliver a lesson on YouTube. If you go to my lessons on YouTube, for the most part, I'll do the lesson, And at the end of every lesson, I'll say, hey, just go to the website or click the link in the description below, and you can grab my free base toolkit, which is a free resource with there's lessons there and there's cheat sheets and stuff like that, right? And people are like, oh, wicked. And I do that in every single YouTube lesson, which means, and people are watching those videos all the time, forever. Once they're on YouTube or on a platform, people are going to watch those videos all the time, which means people are going to be listening to that message that you've put out there. They're going to be clicking the link in the description, going over to your website, and then signing up to your email list. Getting that autoresponder sequence, it's automatically going to be building this rapport with them, this vibe with them. And then after they've gone through that sequence, then you're like, hey, do you want to check out my program? Do you want to, do you want some one-to-one lessons? Do you want whatever it is? Okay. That's why the autoresponder sequence is so powerful, because you should be directing people there all the time, and it is working and churning away there in the background. Every single day, you want to be ideally, I think if you could get, 10 to 20 people signing up to your email list per day, you are really rocking it. That's serious. 10 to 20 people signing up to your email list per day, you are rocking it. You're on fire. And just to break this down even further, how deep shall I go? Let me have a swig of my beer. This might be the slowest I've ever drank a beer in my life. I've only taken 2 sips in 30 minutes. How deep should I go? Okay, so if you're getting 10 to 20 new emails a day going to that opt-in box on your website, and they're going through the autoresponder sequence, it's automatic. On day 1, they're going to get an email. On day 3, they're going to get an email. On day 5, they're going to get an email, yada, yada, yada. And then on let's say day 7, they're going to get an offer. Okay, they're going to get an offer. Remember, that offer is whatever you're selling, one-to-one lessons, group lessons, a product that you've created, a book, okay? That means that every single day, if 10 people are opting in to that, 10 or 20 people are opting into that opt-in box, that freebie box on your homepage, that means every single day, 10 or 20 people are actually getting this special offer of a one-to-one lesson or group coaching or the book that you've got or the course that you've got. Can you see how powerful that is? That's why it's called a 24-hour cash machine, because as long as you create enough video assets that all point to your homepage at the end of the video and give them people a call to action, hey, go grab this freebie from the website. As long as you're doing that, those videos will be watched, every single day by somebody, meaning people will see the call to action at the end of the video, they'll click the link in the description, they'll go through to the homepage, they'll get the freebie, they'll enter your autoresponder sequence, you will build a relationship with them, and then you will make them an offer at the end of the autoresponder sequence to, grab one of your paid programs, one-to-one lesson, group coaching, course, book, whatever, okay? And then what happens is then the game turns to how many people can you get into that email list per day, which means how big can you grow your audience, your following. Can you see how that is how an online business works, specifically in this space? Okay, that is the leanest way to do it. It's really, really cheap to do. Nothing other than your time, nothing really is going to, there's no cost in this really. A one-page website, you can probably put it together yourself on Squarespace or WordPress or something like that. I think MailChimp have a free level to their email service provider system. So you can probably get into, there's nothing other than your time, you can actually get started doing this completely for free, and it will build you a completely automated business online. I will say that it'll take, a little bit to set it up. So probably, if I was going to do this all again, I could probably go totally ham and get it all off the ground in 2 to 4 weeks. That's probably how long it's going to take me to get it off the ground, 2 to 4 weeks, in terms of getting the website up, getting the email service provider up, writing out the autoresponder, creating the freebie, and then choosing a platform and then getting going. So if you're thinking that, this sounds like something I might want to do, I really would put a time limit on it. and challenge yourself to deliver within that time limit, because I am astounded every day by the bullshit people tell themselves about how long things are going to take. Every day, I'm astounded by it. It's just drives me nuts, right? Everything, for the most part, you can, if you really challenge yourself, you can get things done in, just a minute amount of time than what you really think that you can get them done in, And I've hung out with friends. I was saying at the top of this, the start of this podcast, I've hung out with friends and barbecues or parties or whatever, bars, and and they've asked me this stuff, and I've told them, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, this should only take a couple of weeks, man. Like 2 to 4 weeks, you should have this up and running. And yes, it's going to take longer to build the audience and the following. And until you build the audience and the following, you're not going to get anybody entering that autoresponder sequence. But just to get it off the ground is just going to be like 2 to 4 weeks. Then you can concentrate on building the following. And my point is that when I talk to friends at barbecues and parties and bars and stuff like that, is they just think about it so much and never do anything. They never do it. I cannot tell you the amount of people that I've told this stuff to, and they never do it. They think there's some kind of witchcraft in there or something like that. Oh no, it's kind of something like a lottery thing, this is kind of like getting the 7 numbers on the lottery or whatever. It really isn't. Like, it's a really easy, systematic, step-by-step formula that anybody can follow. Anybody can follow it. Okay, so I think I've kind of maxed out in like almost 40 minutes in right now, and I know it's pretty dense stuff, but I just want to put it out there that anybody can do this. Really, anybody can do this, and you might already have a following. I'm sure that some of you, I've got a bunch of friends out there that have got 10, 20, 30,000 followers on Instagram and stuff like that, that are just completely unmonetized. They don't really understand how to monetize or build an online business. So hopefully some of them will be listening to this as well, and they might have had a light bulb moment, and hopefully are going to get that website tuned in, get that freebie created, get the opt-in form, get the autoresponder up and running, and hopefully create their own online business. Because I think that the era that we're moving into is just so incredible. It's just, it's so incredible what's coming down the line in terms of technology and the what's available to us. Like, stuff like this just wasn't available even like 15 years ago. I think that I got into it right at the start just by pure luck, pure accident, and but it's so good now, and there's so few people really leveraging this stuff, especially within the music space. It is frightening how few people are actually leveraging strategy like this in the music space. So hopefully this podcast will make a little bit of a difference there. And if you dig the podcast, give us a shout on give us a shout on Instagram or something like that. Just DM me and say, hey, love the business podcast, would love to hear more about the business stuff. I've actually thought about creating a course as well, specifically for music educators, and breaking this stuff down into more of a finer detailed plan, because there is, there's devil in the detail, and it's taken me nearly 40 minutes to just break this down for you, but I could easily span 8 to 10 weeks with this stuff. Probably 8 to 10 hours really. I've given you the condensed version, and we could have a lot of fun with it. So if you are into it, give me a shout on Instagram, DM me to say hey, or email into the website. Just give us a shout and just say, hey, was into the business stuff, would love to know more about it, because I'd be really happy about doing it. Maybe a separate business for myself on the side or something like that, some kind of side hustle. Everybody's into the side hustles right now, right? I haven't got a side hustle. I think my side hustle is my kids. They keep me busy. Anyway, dudes, dudettes, thanks so much for listening. I will be back next week with Mr. Ian Allison, and I'm not sure what we'll be talking about, but it will be music based, and it will be life based, and it will probably be a lot about bass as well. Anyway, dudes, dudettes, take it easy. I will see you in the shed. Bye.